Bonnie Blue, a name that's made waves in the world of OnlyFans and adult entertainment, presents herself as a symbol of empowerment, but her rise to fame is a stark reminder of the damage caused by the toxic glamorization of sex work. While Bonnie has successfully carved out a niche for herself, her career is built on exploiting young men, promoting harmful behavior, and perpetuating the sexualization of youth. Her antics, including viral spring break stunts and her barely legal sexual content, have made her a public figure. But at what cost? This isn't just about one woman's career choices. It's about how her success feeds into a larger, damaging narrative that exploits young people and encourages them to see their worth as something monetizable based on their sexuality. Bonnie's actions aren't just self-destructive. They're contributing to a culture of toxic femininity that encourages women to commodify themselves for instant gratification, with devastating mental health consequences. Bonnie Blue has built her entire brand on shock value, and nothing screams shock like her barely legal spring break stunt in Mexico, filming herself having sex with 150 young college men, many of whom were 18 years old. Bonnie made it clear that her brand is all about exploiting youth, not just women, but young men as well. The content from this stunt wasn't just meant to shock, it was meant to sell, and that's exactly what she did. She capitalized on their youth, the very thing that has marginalized them in society. And what she claims is empowerment is nothing more than exploitation, using young men as mere props to boost her earnings. She filmed, sold, and marketed these intimate acts for profit, all while reducing these men to objects of her own financial gain. And it's clear she had no regard for their dignity or well-being. The fact that these young men were exploited for something so dehumanizing shows just how deeply entrenched the issue of objectifying youth has become in the adult entertainment industry. And let's be honest here, who was really empowered in this scenario? Not the men who were filmed performing in a highly publicized spectacle for free in exchange for a fleeting moment of fame on her platform. Bonnie was the one profiting. Her empowerment is just a mask for exploiting young people's naivety to fuel her career. Bonnie's entire career is built on a problematic narrative that selling one's sexuality is the ultimate form of power. The content she creates is specifically designed to appeal to a younger audience, in particular those just on the edge of adulthood, often still in their late teens or early 20s. This dangerous mix of youthful curiosity and the need for quick success creates a perfect storm for exploitation. By glorifying sexual acts with young, barely legal individuals, she perpetuates the idea that youth is the most marketable commodity. And it's not just about adult film, it's about the broader message that's being sent. Your worth is tied to your sexuality. For women like Bonnie, this becomes a self-sustaining cycle where they constantly sell themselves to maintain relevance. The public success she's achieved sets an example for younger women who may feel pressured to follow in her footsteps, to trade their sexuality for visibility and profit. And this might seem empowering at first glance, but it dehumanizes women in the long run. Bonnie is contributing to a culture that commodifies bodies, encouraging self-exploitation as a legitimate form of financial independence. The sad reality is that true empowerment comes from embracing self-worth beyond what you look like, what you can offer sexually, or how many people you can satisfy for money. The true cost of Bonnie Blue's success can't be measured in dollars. It's seen in the psychological toll it's taking on her and those around her. The pressures of maintaining a hypersexualized public image constantly affect the mental health of adult performers, but Bonnie's case is even more troubling. She admits to working 12 to 16 hours a day on camming, creating content for OnlyFans, and maintaining her public persona. This obsession with performance isn't just unhealthy, it's unsustainable. Camming for hours on end isn't just about performing, it's about losing a sense of self. When you rely on validation from subscribers, your self-worth starts to erode. The constant need to be on and live up to expectations creates anxiety, depression, and emotional burnout. Bonnie has confessed to the exhaustion of constantly being available for her audience. The mental toll of producing content for such a pervasive industry, while also dealing with the harsh public criticism, creates a perfect storm of psychological instability. And this isn't just about Bonnie. Women in the adult industry are disproportionately affected by these pressures. The fact that Bonnie is still pushing forward with this relentless grind, while her mental and emotional well-being crumbles behind the scenes, shows the true price of success in this world. As Bonnie Blue gains more popularity, her target demographic, young, impressionable fans, has only grown. Her constant presence on social media platforms encourages youth to view her as a role model and to mimic her behavior. She openly markets herself as an entrepreneur, a woman who has found success by controlling her own narrative. But the truth is, her audience is being sold a lie, and Bonnie is actively encouraging young people, especially women, to commodify themselves, to see their worth in terms of their sexuality, and to pursue financial independence by selling intimacy. The harm here lies in the false narrative she promotes, that true freedom and empowerment are achieved by monetizing one's sexual appeal instead of building meaningful careers or exploring other forms of empowerment that don't involve selling oneself. And her influence on young women is disastrous because it teaches them that their value lies in their body and that in order to make a living, they have to become the object of others' desires. This sets an unhealthy standard for future generations where self-worth is derived from how many people you can attract for financial gain. The reality of Bonnie Blue's fame is that it's not sustainable. The industry she's been is constantly evolving, and with new performers emerging every day, staying relevant means continuously pushing boundaries. This self-destructive pattern isn't just limited to her. Many who come from the same world of sex work fall into a cycle of burnout, mental health struggles, and eventual obsolescence. The more Bonnie exploits herself for clicks and views, the more she erodes her own sense of identity. There's no escape from this cycle. She can't go back to a normal life once she's become synonymous with sexual exploitation. And as more copycat content creators emerge, Bonnie's once novel approach becomes just another recycled version of the same exploitation, reinforcing the toxic narrative that women should sell their sexuality for relevance. Bonnie Blue's success is the perfect example of the dangers of fame built on sexual exploitation. She may have millions of followers and a profitable OnlyFans account, but at what cost? She's constantly under public scrutiny, fighting to maintain her image while her mental and emotional health continue to deteriorate. As long as she continues down this path, Bonnie will face continued burnout, public backlash, and ultimately irrelevance as younger performers take her place. Bonnie's career trajectory, marked by controversial stunts and exploitation of both herself and young men, is built on a fragile foundation. She may be earning money today, but the emotional toll she's paying will continue to take its toll as she grows older and more tired. In the end, Bonnie's success is a temporary high, a fleeting moment that won't last when the audience moves on to the next sensationalized star. Bonnie Blue's story is a disturbing reflection of everything wrong with the narrative surrounding women's empowerment today. Her rise to fame is based on the premise that empowering yourself means monetizing your body, but in reality, it's an unhealthy, self-exploitative cycle. Bonnie's success comes at the cost of her mental health, her relationships, and her dignity. The world of OnlyFans and adult content may be filled with wealth and attention, but it's a world that ultimately commodifies women's bodies and reinforces a destructive standard for young women to follow. While Bonnie may be financially successful, the emotional toll of her work will have long-term consequences, not just for her, but for the generations of women she's influencing. Bonnie Blue's career highlights the toxic glamorization of sex work and its consequences, not just for those involved in the industry, but for the larger society that watches and idolizes this version of success. True empowerment is not about selling your body for fame. It's about valuing yourself beyond what you can give to others sexually. Bonnie's story is a warning, not a triumph.